coaching. What's in it for you? You've proven yourself.
Mics are hot. Clip ends, 10 seconds.
Your legacy is set. Why keep coaching?
Well, beats working.
You
know, when you love what you do, and my dad told me this, when you love what you do, it's not work.
Bill Belichick in his presser yesterday, of course, University of North Carolina, and that job will bring an end to the coach's brief but busy stint in the sports media. Here's basically what he has been doing since he couldn't land another NFL job. The Pat McAfee Show, he's roughly on 30 minutes every Monday. The Manning Cast, which he co-hosts the first half of the Monday night game. The Breakdown with Peyton and Belichick, that's he started 10 30-minute episodes on ESPN+. Inside the NFL, he's been a full-time cast member there. That's the longest running show that airs like that. That's on the CW on Friday nights. Let's Go, which is something he co-hosts on Sirius XM, along with Jim Gray, Peter King, and Max Crosby of the Raiders. And then Coach with Bill Belichick, which is a digital show from the Underdog Fantasy, where he breaks down players. And Michael Lombardi, who's joining him as the general manager there at UNC, was doing that, as well as Matt Patricia. So it looks as though, at least according to some of these reports, the Manning Cast and the Breakdown, they only have one more program scheduled, and that's around the wild card weekend. The Pat McAfee Show, Inside the NFL, Let's Go, and Coach, we're all set to keep using him through the end of the NFL season. Now, all the networks have not commented on yet on what the future will hold, but I'm sure with the contract that he has, he's going to have to do his best to try to juggle them all. And I can't imagine that when you're taking over, UNC, that he's going to be able to do all that.
Only 6 gigs, Rock? That's all? Only 6? Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I mean, like he's acting like he needs to make a living, for crying out loud. I think he loves to be active. He loves football so much. He wanted to be out there to share his knowledge. And I really appreciate whenever I can catch Bill Belichick, his knowledge, his understanding of the game. But you're right. Now, going to UNC, it's recruiting, getting your staff hired, getting everything laid out with Mike Lombardi, understanding the rules and regulations of college football. There are so many things. Now, he might have 5 minutes to pop in here or there, or he just says, guys, I'm out, void the contract. I don't think that they'd hold him, obligate him to finish out a broadcast contract.
You never know with these contracts. They can prorate it, but I would assume that he would have to finish out his contract.
Well, he may, to the point of, as long as it fits into his schedule. Now, he's going to be busy. And then who knows? Maybe he wants to do a couple of hits for North Carolina. He won't be able to really comment about NFL stuff. Maybe it's college stuff. Maybe
somebody may get in his ear and say, hey, start wearing your UNC gear while you're doing all this.
There you go. Maybe you start marketing UNC. Here's some of the things I'm working on, and kind of take it from there.
So yesterday they did present to him a Tar Heel short sleeve hoodie. I thought that was pretty cool, officially making him the next head coach. So the details have come out on his 5-year deal. According to this term sheet that was released, he is set to earn a base salary of $1 million plus $9 million in guaranteed supplemental income for each of the first 3 years of this deal. Now, the supplemental income is not guaranteed in years 4 and 5. Now, there's some other key details in this deal. If he terminates his contract before June 1st of next year, so roughly just over 6 months, right, he will owe UNC $10 million. But if he decides to leave after June 1st, his buyout drops to just $1 million.
So
think about that.
Yeah. So
how could you not want to make $6 million $10 million for 6 months?
What?
And then an NFL comes calling and says, hey, I know it's late in the game, but we don't report to camp for another month. We need you. There's going to be 8 jobs, 8 jobs, right?
Yeah, that'd be a wish list right there, because that would never happen unless the only thing I can think of is it seems listening to him that he's committed to this. Now, if somebody gives him a Godfather offer in the National Football League, so they want to offer him, let's say $10 million a year.
Well, that's what he's making now.
That's what he's making now. So if he goes, you know what, UNC, I thought about this, rethink this. I'm going to move on. Let's say they come to him at the end of January, somebody, and they say, we'll give you this, bonuses, all the above. He'll, if he wants to get back in the National Football League, and that's really where he wants to be, then he'll cut a check for $10 million. And heck, whoever hires him in the National Football League may pay half of that for him.
Well, the highest paid coach in the NFL is Andy Reid at $18 million plus.
Making that much?
Sean Payton is also $18 million. Sean McVay is 14. Tomlin is 12.5, and rounding out the top 5, the most recent head coach to be signed is John. Well, no. I'm sorry. I thought it was Jim. It's John. John is
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh is at $12 million.
Yeah, and if anybody's going to hire Bill Belichick, there's your comps right there. There's your comps. Okay, if you're going to bring him in he might say, look, if you give me 18 to 20 million, and my net is I got to pay out 10, I'm $10 million ahead at least the first year.
Now, there's an annual bonus pool of $3.5 million. So this is how that's structured. If he wins the ACC in his first year, that'll get him $300,000. Okay. He would also land another $750,000 just for making the playoffs.
Okay.
Now that amount will increase to $1 million if the Tar Heels make the quarterfinals, and if they go even more, if they advance again, it's another $250,000. And if he wins the CFP, it's $1.75 million.
So if he hits all his marks, Rock, he'll be about, with that guaranteed
3.5.
What's that?
3.5.
About 3.5, but plus the $9 million?
I should have let you go.
No.
Because I said it was the annual bonus pool, 3.5.
No, I got it. But plus his other $9 million, he's on top of that.
Oh, it's 10 total, so it's 13.5.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at.
But he's not at 18.
No, I know. But I mean, for college, he's blowing the doors off for where a lot of other guys, the Dabo Sweeneys of the world, the Nick Sabans, where they used to be. I think Mike Norvell's, what's he make, $8-9 million at Florida State, something like that. But yeah, if it's $13.5 million, let's say after it's all said and done, and an NFL team comes down the road, they'd have to trump it by at least another $10 million.
So I just pulled this up, and I don't know how accurate it is, but it's the first thing that popped up on Google. That Belichick was making $25 million a year in New England in 2023.
Wow. Because they never reported.
It said he is the highest paid coach in U.S. sports.
That just blows me away to hear that, because we never really heard what he was making. They were very quiet about things in New England. The only thing you really heard about was Brady's contract where he was and how he would divvy it up in order to bring other good players in. And I think he was close to
looked at
20 million.
another. I Googled on a different search engine and it had him at 20 million. So either way, he's in that 20 to 25 million range.
Absolutely.
So if he decides to leave, as I mentioned, he could do it, and it only costs him $1 million before the season starts. Also, the GM compensation is guaranteed. Of course, we've talked about it. Michael Lombardi is going to join him as the GM, and according to the term sheet, they did a deal where his deal matches the head coach. The GM matches the head coach at the compensation level. But again, you got to remember, he's getting paid $1 million a year plus the
9.
Yeah, the structures, the bonus stuff, the 9.
Sure.
It won't exceed 1.5. So Lombardi's going to get about $1 million or $1.5 million to be the GM.
And I think that those are some of the things that Bill Belichick wanted to work out before he signed the deal. There was the GM situation, the staff, the NIL, the collective, all that.
And I'll give you that. So the support staff, which includes the GM, is $5.3 million.
Okay.
The salary pool for the assistant coaches is $10 million.
Okay.
And then $1 million for the strength coaches.
So you'll probably see his offensive defensive coordinators be about $1 million, $1.2 million, and you'll see those assistants making anywhere from $100,000 to $350,000. These guys nowadays in major colleges, they get paid quite handsomely, and I think he wanted to make sure if he's going to go after really good assistants that they get paid that way. They get paid, fair market value.
Well, it may be more than that.
And it might be. It may very much might be that.
It's fascinating. We're going to go out to Raleigh 3:00, and we'll get a perspective from that area on Bill Belichick. I am fascinated by this.
I still am. Rock.
Just
You kind of
every time
pick
you
yourself.
and then I also go and I it's not a fair comparison, but you think of Herm Edwards, who spent some time with the Chiefs and the New York Jets as a head coach, and when he came to the college ranks, granted he had spent some time in the college ranks before, but the game had changed so much, and then spent some time in the media for a long time, and we know how good he is in the media, and that didn't work out. And he did the same thing. He brought in some big name coaches too.
He did.
Former players
and consultants.
Antonio Pierce.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can make the comparison. It's not really fair. Bill Belichick, Herm Edwards, they're definitely not on the same playing field, but they're still, NFL coaches, head coaches going to the college ranks.
And Rock, it's still all about the players. You got to go get the players. I mean, you got to go get the guys that are going to enhance your program. Nowadays, you got to pay it. But you got to also remember Ray Anderson, who was the athletic director, would not buy in to the NIL at the time. Remember, he was real reluctant. He and Herm were both reluctant to do that. Then they realized, oh, my gosh, these other guys are going off into other schools. We're losing these guys because it's $100,000, $500,000, 5-6 years ago. That was big money for the collective.
This portion of the program is brought to you by friends over at All City Towing. Join the team at the largest towing company in Arizona. They are hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, customer service personnel, and you get all kinds of benefits. They have a healthy 401k, employer match, great health benefits, employer-paid life insurance. They even give you a monthly fuel allowance. So if you are ready to take your career to the next level, you're looking to turn the page in 2024 into 2025, visit them online at allcitytowing.com. That's All City Towing, where your future is on the move. We got football at 50, and it's a flashback Friday. Do you remember the Duke scandal, the lacrosse scandal? You're not going to believe what came out today about that.